Hello there. Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. My name is Gary, and I'm from England. What's your name?
My name is Ling. Nice to meet you, Gary.
Nice to meet you, Lynn. And which country do you come from?
I'm from Vietnam. Do you know Vietnam?
I know where it is, and I have quite a lot of students here on Cambly from
Wow.
Vietnam. Which city do you come from?
I'm from Hanoi.
In the north. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the capital. Yeah, I've got quite a few students from this city. Very good. Yeah. Is this the first time, Lynn, that you have used Cambly?
Yes, this is my first time. So I'm a beginner at this company, and I don't know much about it. This is my first time use it, and about my English, my pronunciation and my listening skills is okay, but about my grammar, I don't think that is good because I didn't learn grammar. I just think what I think in my head. So I hope that if I say something wrong, you can
Yes.
correct
Yeah.
it for me.
Okay. So if you have any questions you would like to ask me, Lynn, about Cambly, English, or anything else, please feel free to do so. So you've got your trial time to check out the system to see how it works and if you like it. The time always goes really quickly, unfortunately. What I will do while we are talking is send you the website address so you can have a look at that for more information when you have a bit more free time later.
Yes. Okay.
So I'll tell you a little bit about Cambly and how it works. And if you think of a question in the meantime, just say, Gary, stop, and then you can ask your question. So
Yes.
don't worry. So in terms of if you are looking to improve your English on a one-to-one basis, then Cambly is very good. It's 24-hour a day accessibility. There are always many teachers online from all over the world. So there should never be a shortage. In terms of where the teachers come from, we are all English native speakers. So the countries where the teachers will come from will be the USA, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and like myself, the United Kingdom. So it's... just while I remember, actually, the website that I sent you there, if you have a look later at the section that says Teacher Profiles, I'll write that one down just to remind you. Then you can see all of the different teachers working with Cambly. They will all have their own personal details on there, so you can see which country they come from, their interests, their educational background, their qualifications, and above all, what level of English they actually teach and specialize in. So some teachers will specialize with beginners, others intermediate, others advanced business English. Some will cover all of the different levels. So what's very good about Cambly is that it's flexible. So you can choose as many or as few teachers to work with. A lot of students, they like to practice their listening skills, so they will use more than one teacher. My accent is from the north of England, so I will speak slightly differently from somebody from London, and definitely differently from an American or an Australian.
Yes.
So, that's pretty good. So you've got a lot of choice there.
Yes.
In terms of how we can teach, well, there are different methods, and there isn't a particular right method or a wrong method. It depends on the student. Different students have different preferences. I would say the most common request that I get is for free talking. So, for example, you and I would decide a subject to talk about, and during the time, it would give me an opportunity to make any corrections, maybe with your pronunciation, your grammar, introduce new and alternative words into the conversation. So that would expand your vocabulary, as well as sayings, expressions that we use frequently in English as well.
Yeah.
For students that like to go down this route, what I recommend for them is to regularly keep changing the subject you were talking about. So your fluency will improve just by regular contact, with an English-speaking native. But it doesn't mean that you will improve in terms of your vocabulary and other aspects of English if you keep talking about the same things. For example, maybe Hanoi and some of your interests. So you need to change and expand your subject matter.
Yes.
We also have an online library here in Cambly. You can access that yourself. So there are many materials for different levels, again, beginner, intermediate, advanced level. So you can go into the library, you can select either a one-off lesson or you can select a program of lessons for the different levels I've mentioned. And you can then select which teacher you would like to work with and then together, do the lesson.
Yeah.
That's another option. A third option, usually I would suggest with students who are intermediate level and above, they usually like to find their own materials, usually articles from the internet. So they would send me a link, so obviously I can see what they're looking at. Sometimes they like to read that article to me, so they want to practice their pronunciational skills. Occasionally, because they're usually of a higher level, they might only have one or two questions regarding, certain sayings or words. And after that, they usually like to discuss the article. So that really gives me a bit of an exam or a test, because they are usually then asking me for my opinions and why do you think like that? Have you not considered this? And so it's a lot more deeper, meaningful conversation in English. In terms of what we can discuss, really it could be on anything. It usually is the student's preference. But just to give you an idea, the subjects I regularly get asked to debate would be international news, economics, history, things like that. But they don't have to be what I call deeper subjects. They can be on lighter ones as well. So that's another quite common option.
Yes, thank
And
you.
likewise, sometimes the teachers also have got their own materials rather than just ones from the Cambly library that they can suggest and work through with students too. So that's a bit of an overview in terms of what we can do and how we can do it. Have you got any questions on anything that I've said up to now, Lynn?
Because I'm in the beginner in Cambly, and right now you are explaining to me a lot. So I think right now I'm not a beginner right now. Yeah. Okay, so today I want to practice my speaking skills, and maybe I will ask you a few questions.
Yes, by all means.
Okay. So how many countries have you been to?
I visited 57 different countries around the world up to now, and I've got another 30 to 40 on a list I would like to do, of which Vietnam is one of them.
Wow, 57? Wow.
Yeah.
Why
So travel is my number one passion in life. So I'm always happy to take any opportunities to go to see new places. I have a lot of interests, whether they are sporting, geographical, historical. So seeing places of natural beauty. So I'm never disappointed with any country that I go to in the world, because I know I will at least see some of the things I like, if not all of them.
Yes.
Yeah. And the good thing, I guess, at the moment is Vietnam. I hope to visit sooner than later, because I am one of your neighbors. I also live in Asia, and I live in Thailand at the moment.
Wow, so we near each other.
Yeah, so we are neighbors.
Yeah, we are neighbors. Yes. So what which country do you like the most?
I guess my favourite country up to now is New Zealand, and probably the reasons why I chose that one would be I spent maybe 5 weeks there on holiday, going back a few years now, but I've hired a car to go and tour around the North Island, then flew to the South Island, did the same again, so I got to see a lot of the country. And especially the South Island is a place of natural beauty, a lot of mountains, rivers, snow-peaked glaciers. Very picturesque, very nice. It was very clean. It was very easy to drive around, very leisurely. The pace of life seemed very slow. The value for money was good. The people were very friendly. And I guess I also did some quite interesting one-off things. So I went whale watching out in the ocean. I took a helicopter ride to the top of one of the mountains and got off and had a walk on the glacier. I hired a plane to go, because I took my mum on this holiday, because she's a big traveller as well. So we're going back a few years now. And she wouldn't have been able to do trekking in this area of a national park. So I hired one of the small, like 4-seater planes for a couple of hours so we could fly around and she could see lots of landscape that otherwise she wouldn't be able to see. So we did lots of one-off things that you wouldn't normally do. So I guess that's why, I have fond memories of New Zealand.
Yes. So you are like the one who very love nature.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you like live in a countryside more or a city more? Because you love nature. So.
I've lived in both in my life, but at the moment I live in rural Thailand, so I live in the countryside. So it is not a touristic area. It is in the northeast. Where I live is very close to the town of Buriram. Which is maybe 20 kilometers away. So this area of Thailand is really farming, agricultural. So rice farmers, sugarcane plantations, things like this. So I like the quiet life. So I've decided to change my lifestyle from working in town, cities. So I worked for 30 years in the UK in 2 professions. And I wanted to change, a slower pace of life, which is one of the reasons I'm here.
Yeah. Yes. That is quite interesting. I'm the one who like living in the city more, I think, because right now I'm 13 and I live in the countryside right now. I kind of love this life in here, but because right now I think that I didn't have a chance to live in the other kind of lifestyle. So maybe I like countryside more when go to city to live. But right now I think that I like city more because at the city I can have many chances to study and meet many people. Like especially is foreigners if I want to learn English, because in countryside in my city, there's not a lot of foreigners to speak.
Yeah. So you don't get the opportunity very often. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So in the city, I think there are 1,000, maybe a little bit of 1 billion people at 1 million, 1 million people or living in Hanoi are the foreigners. So maybe someday I will go to live in city to try. Yeah.
I think usually people's desires change during the course of their life. So, when I was younger and when you wanted to work in different professions, I was a human resources manager for a multinational company for 16 years. Then I had my own businesses for another 14. So whilst I was doing this work, I would be in big towns or cities working where the job opportunities were, where the big factories were, and such. And likewise, I enjoyed the sporting, social activities, the nightlife, things like this. But then, you move on in your life, and then what was important at one time isn't quite as important, and you change your preferences.
Yes.
And so that's the good thing in life, really, that you never get bored, I guess. You keep changing.
Yes. So you just make our lives more interesting. Yeah. So so you are like New Zealand the best. So right now, if you have to choose UK and New Zealand, choose one to live in all your life, So which?
Well, I guess if I was to choose now, I'd probably go for New Zealand at this stage. But what I'm doing now, though, here in Thailand, I've got a fishing park. So I'm still working, but not to the same level that I used to. So I'm in a much more relaxed pace of life.
Yes.
I guess if I compared New Zealand to Thailand, the cost of living would be still a lot more, even though it would probably be less than the UK.
Yeah.
So students who I've met on Cambly who have visited or are studying from Asia in New Zealand have said, since your visit, Gary, the prices are going up. So one of those things change.
Yes. Okay, so if you were to give one piece of advice to someone planning to visit New Zealand or Thailand, what would it be?
Let's see, only one piece of advice. I think road safety if you ever came to Thailand.
Yes.
Because Thailand has officially got the most dangerous roads in the world. There are more people who die on the road and are in serious accidents than any other country. This is a very unfortunate, bad reputation Thailand has got, and this is because of the way people drive. They drive, they put a key in their hand to a motorbike or a car, and I think something turns off in the head, and it's a shame really that people will think I need to go from here to here, and I will go by the fastest route. And if that means going on the wrong side of the road or any crazy maneuvers, they will do it. Which is very, very different from the way we drive in Europe.
Yes. So if you are go to Vietnam, I think you have to take attention to that too, because in Vietnam, in the city, if the big road, you will see the traffic lights. But if it's not, it's just a small road, or it's normal, it's a road with all the many people, or go that there's not have a traffic light like in UK. So I heard that some foreigners they have someone asked them that have you tried to cross the street? Have you learned to cross the street? They said that they said I just have to close my eyes and walk. But some other foreigners, they say that slowly, very slowly. You had to supposed to cross the street.
I have read about this, and when I've looked at travel videos about Vietnam, if you wait, then you'll be waiting all day, so you have to keep moving.
Yes.
But slowly to give the motorbikes an opportunity to go around you. If you move too quickly, they aren't sure, and then they might hit you which way you are going to go. So to try to anticipate which direction.
It's very dangerous for me. Also, right now my time is running out. So
it's surprising how fast, Lynn, the time does go on Cambly, but it's been a pleasure to meet and talk to you today, and I will wish you good luck with your English.
Nice to meet you too, Gary. So Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Yes.